Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn. Our guest is Michael Anderson from Finestone Partners. We're talking about the fact that you can outlive your money. And if you don't have any money, oh my God, what are you going to do? I recently did some research. I'm not going to mention the facilities, but most facilities that are advertising on TV, come and live with us. It's a beautiful community. One person can be $5,000 a month easily, and that's not necessarily a luxury place. That also doesn't include health care of any kind. It's 3 meals a day, and they'll take you on excursions. I find it absolutely ridiculous. It's expensive, right? Then there are others where we did an interview not long ago, Daryl, about a company that takes over a house. They knock it down. They build 3 or 4 private rooms in that house,
right? And
they charge $1,500 or $1,800 a month. But there's no, you get 3 meals a day.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely, and for on average, at least now, in retirement, out of pocket for medical expenses, nursing, facilities for the elderly that can't take care of themselves or have family members to take care of them. The out-of-pocket, on average, is $250,000 to $350,000 in the balance of their life. So you ask the question, okay, well, where is that going to come from? It's not going to be covered by Medicare. If you want Medicaid to cover those facility expenses and out-of-pocket prescriptions, you basically, as we just mentioned during the break, that you have to burn your finances down to the ground.
It's just amazing. Daryl, you had a story.
Well, I was just going to say, I worked in radio. There's days I was going to outlive my wealth by Friday, much less a lifetime. But I had a situation with my grandparents where, in order for them to get any kind of help with health care from the government, they had to separate their finances, and one of them had to use it all up before they could get any kind of help.
Yeah, I was going to say one of my neighbors is from China, and his mother is in her 80s. She worked all of her life, and they have two prongs, if you will. One is traditional Chinese healthcare, and then if that doesn't work, then you do Western, but it's covered. She's not living apparently in a luxurious place. She doesn't have a TV. She doesn't have a cell phone. Doesn't know what they are probably or how to use it. But again, a lot of people in their 80s or 90s may or may not know how to use a smart TV or a smartphone either. And I'm not putting that down. It's just they're not used to it. They didn't grow up with it, and they don't understand the need for it.
Absolutely. And as you just mentioned, at the time, the individual needs to really sharpen their financial awareness, what the options are, managing, preparing. Their ability to understand it diminishes at the time when they need it most. And so the role of advisors, good advisors, becomes even more critical.
What is the average salary now for a family of 4? Around $40,000?
About $40,000, and the medium net household net worth in the United States right now is about $235,000 total in the United States.
Wow.
And if you start to break down the different groups, those that can afford long-term care, for those in the net worth range of $350,000 to $1 million, the annual premiums on long-term care are barely affordable. Okay, so you're looking at, baseline $3,000 to $4,000 a year baseline. And if you look at
I'm curious, Mike, it just popped into my head. So you're paying for, say, 3 or 4 years, and God forbid you need to use that. Do you still have to pay your premium when you're in your long-term, using your long-term?
Right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So that's why it becomes the longer that you live, and if you're fortunate enough to be healthy, the cost of living longer, even if you're healthy, is going to mount year after year after year. And if you step back and you look at other income and net worth segments of our society, if you look at the upper end, the wealthy can basically stay invested, and based on the growth of their wealth, they can cover the additional expense of healthcare. They can do it even without long-term care because they have the base to draw income and on an ongoing basis.
But at the same time, if the average salary is around $40,000 a year,
that's where most are.
What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Right? You have to pray to die?
Yeah. Hopefully not. Right. And then you have the bottom group below 40,000. What do? And for most right now, about 75% of those that need care basically receive it from a family member or friend. That's kind of the model of America. 75% receive it, and there are tens of millions of hours a year that family members pick up the slack and friends that pick up the slack to take care of those that need it.
I know that my mom passed away about 14 years ago, and the last 2 years of her life, I was her primary caregiver. She was in a facility that took care of her, but she still needed to go to the doctor, or if she had a problem, I could be talking with you, and my phone would go off, and the home would say, your mom needs to go to the doctor now. And wherever I was, I had to rush over and take her to the doctor. And then there's the waiting and the what are they going to do and all this kind of stuff. And then, oops, we made a mistake. We got to do it again. And all this kind of stuff. I mean, we're human. We make mistakes. It's like this big black, it's like buying a boat. It's a big black hole that you just keep pouring money in.
And the biggest black hole for all of us is the healthcare cost component. Everything else will happen. Everything else is fairly controllable. Taxation, inflation, we can prepare for that. Monthly living expenses. But that healthcare component, that's the hardest part.
Wouldn't it seem logical if you're paying, you've been paying into Medicare, Social Security all these years, and then the next step, of course, is you pay for the supplement, okay? You should be covered. Yet,
yeah, it's about 60% of the show.
Right.
So you then step back and say, okay, well, how do you prepare? It makes retirement savings even that much more critical. And to the credit of the baby boomers who are 10 years to retirement, to their credit, they're taking their 401k plans very seriously and increasing their contributions, taking advantage of the company matches to the extent that they can.
But if you're over 65, you're cooked.
If you're planning at 65 plus, the probability that you're going to have a really tough time is very high. If you're younger than that, there's still time.
There's still hope.
There's still hope, and with retirement savings, with maybe working a little bit longer, taking the savings more seriously now, remaining more in a growth investment allocation, the historical view of, or the traditional view of going to fixed income when you're retired, that model is kind of going by the wayside because you need some growth because we're all living longer, and that longevity, we need to have more growth for more income.
And generally speaking, as you age, financial advisors tend to say, don't be aggressive in your plan, but you have to be.
We have to be, and that, as I said, that model is changing because if you're 65 and healthy, 5 out of 10 of the males are going to statistically live to age 90. 6 out of 10 of the females, if you're healthy at 65, are going to live to 90. 1 out of 5 of the whole population will live to be 100. So going to fixed income, knowing, as we all know, interest rates are so low on fixed income products and maybe going lower, and not keeping up with inflation, especially the cost of the annual increase in the cost of healthcare. You have to have more growth. Not being reckless about it, but it has to be a component, 50% stocks, 50% bonds, some quality growth built into it to stay ahead of inflation.
And the days of keeping money in a mattress or even in a bank at 0.25%
on a good day.
On a good day is yesterday.
Yeah, those that can do that have at least a couple million stuffed in their mattress. Those folks can still do that.
I would be able to sleep quite well. Right?
Would that be a nice cushion for your head?
It would. I'd be able to sleep through the night. I said something a little bit flippant, but it would seem to me that knowing that you're going to stress your family, you want to check out. I mean, I know you're religious. Daryl and I have our own personal beliefs. Nobody wants to do suicide. But you don't want to stress your kids, your family. It's impossible.
Yeah, and it can go. That stress can go on for years. And there's other components of let's say the children that are responsible. Those are the people that the parents are turning to. Well, those parents today, as we know, more often in many instances, their wonderful children are still on the payroll, unfortunately, because they want to help their kids. They may be responsible for grandchildren as well. And for those parents that are nice enough to take on the responsibility of those college loans is another burden.
Now there's another topic for another day. College loans. What do we do about those? Wow. Mike, will you come back and continue this conversation? Because I think it's very important. And I'm trying to get Mike to write a book about this. I think it would be really worthwhile.
But, Mark, you have to help me.
I
write
promise.
That book. Okay.
I will do it. I will do it. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Mike Anderson's going to continue with us as he co-hosts the show with us the rest of the time. Coming up next, we have Robert Clancy. We'll have to congratulate him on his induction into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. We'll find out more about that coming up. By the way, the Easy Wall of Fame Awards is coming up August 30th. You can check that out. We'll give you some more information a little bit later.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. Balance in life isn't about making everything equal. It's about sharing equal parts of your heart for each area of your life. Many people seem to struggle with bringing their life into balance. Family, work, and health all seem to be a challenge these days. Think of the demands you have on your own schedule and time. It can be frustrating and overwhelming. What's most important to discover is that peace is not about finding a quiet place among the chaos. Peace is about listening for the divine whispers of love amidst this turmoil. Take a breath and you will find balance.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.